Did I just watch one of the best horror movies of 2025? Most likely I just did.
Hello, Amanda. I want to play a game.
Hey horror freaks, welcome back. As you can see from the title, today's video is my full review with spoilers of Weapons. Currently available in theaters. This is from the same director of Barbarian. And before I start, this review is going to contain major spoilers of the film, but if you don't want them just to know my general opinion of the movie, spoiler free, you can go to the description box down below. You're going to find the link of my spoiler free review that is now available on my website, because I like to give you guys those two options. And giving that quick disclaimer, let's get straight into the video. The film follows when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time. A community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. And to quickly summarize the movie, the film opens with a kid giving us the rundown of what happened that night. That is that at 2 in the morning, 17 kids from the same class, they all left their houses without a reason or saying, of course, to where they were going. And of all of this class, only one kid left his house during the night, so he is the only one that shows up to school the very next day. This story is told by different points of view. We start with the teacher. She is being accused of knowing something or doing something to these kids because the parents, they believe that she is the responsible. She maybe say something, she did something to them. They believe that could be a prank, but they all believe that is the teacher the one behind it, but she has no idea what has just happened. So we see how she is coping and how she is still trying to investigate on her own what is happening, because she wants to know what the hell just happened and where those kids are. We also get the point of view of the father of one of the kids that goes missing. He is also doing his own investigation to the point that he is even looking at the camera footage of the doors of some of their neighbors in order to find a clue as to where these kids have gone to. Then we get the point of view of a police officer that knows the teacher. We get to see the other point of view of interactions with the teacher and other characters. The good thing about these points of views is that little by little we start getting the full pieces of the story, get the full context of what is happening. This means phone conversations, and maybe a character that is out there and you're here, what was happening before, and all of that. You get the point of view of a kid that the police officer arrested. Since there is money that they're offering information about this kid, he actually finds the kids. So he tries to alert the police, but he is unsuccessful due to his previous relationship with the officer. Then we get the point of view of the school principal, and it's in this point of view that we get the first glance of who is the person responsible for the disappearance of these children. Turns out to be a woman named Gladys, and from that very first interaction you can really tell that something is off with her and that she could be a witch. The last point of view that we get before going into all the point of views kind of together is Alex, that is the student that remained at his house. Gladys is his aunt, and I say it like this because it's not fully clear, because Alex's mother tells to him something, then she presents herself as his aunt. She arrives to their home because she has nowhere else to go and she is ill. But the next day, Alex is waiting for his parents to arrive to pick him up at school, but they never appear. So he ends up walking, and when he arrives, his parents are sitting on the table with Gladys, and she says to Alex to sit down and she wants to talk to him, but he is stunned. He has no idea what is happening. His parents aren't responding, they aren't doing anything, they aren't even looking at him. So he kind of freaks out a little bit. Gladys gets mad. Next morning she tries again to talk to him, but this time she's very clear. You're not going to tell a soul that I am here or what is happening to your parents, and also you're going to be responsible of them because you need to feed them. So this poor kid is forced to this routine of having to go to the supermarket, get soup, and then feed his parents. Eventually Gladys talks to Alex because he sees that she's indeed very sick, and he asks her, if there's something that I could do, what is going to make you feel better? Do you want to go to the hospital? And she says to him that she thought at first that his parents could be something that could work, but they aren't helping anymore. So she asks him to bring something from every single kid from his class. He ends up taking the name tags of some boxes of the classroom, and with this she makes a spell, and this is what makes the kids to get out of their beds in the middle of the night and go to their house. The kids have been all along in the basement of Alex's house. house. When the full investigation starts, they interrogate Alex and Gladys, but she makes sure to make like everything is normal. She makes a fake story about the parents. So for almost a month, these kids have been on the basement, and Alex has been feeding every single one of the kids, just like his parents and also his parents. After this, we return to the teacher and the father of one of the kids. They are fed up with not knowing what is happening. They want to get to the bottom of this, and they just know that something is wrong with Alex's house. So they go to the house. They see that the police officer is there, and he actually gets out of the house. He waves to them to get in. They get in, and this is when the full action starts. We have the guy that the police officer arrested, and the police officer start attacking the teacher and the parent, while Alex is with his mother and father upstairs. And Gladys, she is getting ready because they are supposed to be leaving the next day. And then the parents attack Alex, but he knows what he needs to do. So he cuts himself into Gladys' bedroom and he goes to the bathroom. He gets the stick that she uses to make the spell. He needs hair from the person that he wants to make the spell on. He takes a hair from her wig, gets one of the hairs, he gets some blood, and he breaks the stick. And as a result, the kids, they turn against Gladys. So she runs out of the house and she goes out in the street screaming like a maniac, and the 17 kids are behind her like zombies. They keep running throughout all the neighborhood until they catch her and they rip her apart, killing her. And because she has been killed, the spell breaks. But the kid that got arrested and the police officer were killed during the action, but Alex's parents were able to survive. But right now they are in this type of catatonic state since they have been like this for way too long. After this, the parent and the teacher that are now okay. The parent is able to find his son within the group of kids. He takes him and they leave. The same kid that was narrating the story at the beginning is telling us that although the parents of Alex most likely aren't going to return to normal, some of the kids are now returning to normal. But only time will tell what is going to happen with this kid. But because at the end of the day, Gladys was indeed a witch and she was taking the energy of these people, and Alex's parents weren't enough anymore, so she needed all those kids in order to stay alive. Since we can presume that most likely she has been alive for way longer than she says. So that is essentially it, and that is how the film concludes. And now getting into the review, my expectations for this movie were extremely high. I love Barbarian. I know that there's a lot of people that didn't due to the tone switch that it has. Not everyone liked it at that. I really enjoyed Barbarian, and when I saw that this director was doing another horror movie, I was excited. I have to say that so far he has done a pretty good job. Starting off with the things that I like it about this movie. First is the narrative structure. This film is told by different points of views, so we eventually get to the full story, but we go a little by little. I feel that is a more interesting way to tell this story rather than going into the normal way to do it that we already know, making it, at least for me, more intriguing, interesting, and engaging. I was hooked. I have to say that although the film is 2 hours and 8 minutes long, it's never boring. And for me, it's due to the structure, but also the story. The story is original, feels fresh, but it's also very ambitious. This film is a little bit weird, I'm not gonna lie. There are moments that you're telling yourself, what the hell I am just watching? Similar to Barbarian, because Barbarian, it did the same. I was watching, I was like, what the hell is this? So Weapons does kind of the same thing, but not as strong as Barbarian. The film is a slow burn. It takes its time to fully develop the story, the characters, and build up the tension. We go little by little. We get some snips of horror here and there, little by little, going up until we get to the action. But the action doesn't really happen until the ending. I like that the story is not predictable, just like Barbarian. For me, Barbarian, there was no way in hell for me to predict that. Here is the same thing. There's not really something that tells you what is really going to happen. Even the trailer, if you think that the trailer gave you away too much, no, what the trailer shows is mostly the beginning, that is the incident of the kids going missing. If you're thinking that the film is going to focus on that, no. We get that right at the beginning, and then we go straight into what has been after the event. We get a little bit of the before, nothing really of during, like only seeing the kids eventually going into Alex's house, but the majority of the story focuses into the after. We have strong and convincing performances. Julia Gardner, she is amazing here. I am surprised that she is what is, in my opinion, one of the worst horror movies of the year, that is Wolfman, but also in one of the best ones. So for me, Julia here, she did a fantastic job. The whole cast in general, they're giving strong and believable performances, so they did a pretty good job. But besides the story structure, something that I love it about this movie is the cinematography. The way that is shot. It's so immersive and it makes the film feel elevated. If there's one thing about this film is that this is elevated horror without being pretentious. We have a comedy touch here and there, not as strong as Barbarian, but I do have one thing that I didn't like, and this is the reason why this film is not going to be a 10 out of 10 and a 5 out of 5 in my book. And it's the reveal of the why. When we first see Gladys, she is right away presented as the person that is behind all of this. But when we get to see Alex's point of view and we get explanation and a little bit of her, I was like, oh, so it's a witch. That's it. Which I think that is okay, like don't get me wrong, I feel that it's still creepy, but for some reason I was expecting something that was like more boom. I think that I'm going to blame Barbarian, because the Barbarian's plot twist and that full reveal, it was shocking and it wasn't something that I was expecting. Here either, I wasn't really expecting it to be a witch, but I did expect it something to be as shocking as Barbarian. So that was essentially the only thing that I didn't fully enjoy about the movie. But for the rest, I could say 95% of the movie, I really liked it. So I think that you can tell by now what is going to be my rating. But if not, then for me, Weapons is a 4.5 out of 5 and a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason why I am taking away that 0.5 is due to that, because I was expecting something a little bit more shocking. But for the rest, I feel that the film is definitely good. It's definitely worth watching, and it's indeed one of the best horror movies of the year. I know that for many this is going to be the top one, and that is great. This one for me so far is going to be on the top 3. But with this, I have ended this video and this review. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below your thoughts. If you watched this movie, did you like it? You did it? But with this, I have ended. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you guys on my next video. Bye!